Good afternoon, friends. This is Sanjay Barnwal. Today, I'll be sharing with you SAP RE-FX solution and how you can use it for lease accounting under IFRS 16 and IND AS 116 requirements. Sometimes back, I had shared one video where I had explained how lease accounting under IFRS 16 and IND AS 116 has changed, particularly for lessee. And I had explained different accounting entries using Excel. In this video, I'll be sharing with you how you can use SAP to achieve this IFRS 16 and IND AS 116 requirement. I have created certain slides and then I'll take you through SAP as well. So let's move on. So my focus in this video will be lease under lessee only, because there is not much change from a lessor perspective. From a lessee perspective, there is no differentiation now between operating lease or finance lease. If a lease fulfills certain conditions like more than 1 year and substantial rights in the asset is transferred, so lessee has to treat that lease as per new requirements of IFRS 16 and IND AS 116. So what are those things? So broadly speaking, a lessee needs to recognize a right of use asset, so and corresponding liability in its statement of financial position. So you cannot just post the lease as an expense in P&L. You have to create an asset which is called as right of use asset, and also you have to book a liability in your balance sheet. ROU asset is capitalized with the present value of total lease payment using underlying interest component. So in order to capitalize your ROU asset, you need to identify what is the underlying interest on the lease payment which you are making, and then generate the present value. And ROU asset needs to be depreciated, and similarly corresponding liability needs to be amortized over the lease term. These are the broad accounting entries which you have to pass under IFRS 16 as a lessee. So first entry will be asset capitalization. So you debit your lease assets and then you credit your right of use assets clearing account. Then this right of use ROU asset clearing account gets knocked off by debiting in the second entry, and lease liability gets created. These two are your one-time entry in your lease transaction. Then you will be passing your monthly transactions. So monthly, under the monthly transactions, you will have the interest entry, where you will debit your lease interest, which is a P&L item, and credit your lease liability. And when you are making the installment payment, there will be two separate entry. One will be lease liability balance sheet debit with the lease installment amount, and lease clearing account credit. Now when you are now this is going to adjust your lease liability amortization. For making payment to the vendor, you will debit your lease interest. You will debit your lease clearing account, and I think I have not corrected it. So here you will be having the vendor account credit and lease clearing account debit. So this is not updated here. And finally, you will be also posting the depreciation account and accumulated depreciation account, which will be against your leased assets capitalization. Let me also show you the transactions in SAP in this slide. Okay, let's see the example first. So I have this example. You are going to buy a vehicle on a lease. Lease term is 5 years, and you are paying lease installment of 5,000 rupees per month, and your underlying interest component is 7%. So first you do the asset capitalization. So you can see 253,431.99. This is your asset. So posting key 70 and asset GL account got debited with ROU asset clearing account as a credit. And simultaneously you also do the lease liability posting. So here you can see lease liability GL account posting key 50 got credit and ROU asset clearing is debited. So ROU asset clearing becomes nil. Then you post the lease liability, lease interest. So you use the posting key 40 lease interest debit and lease liability account credit. And when you make the monthly installment posting, lease liability gets debited by the 5,000 installment amount and lease clearing account gets credited. This lease clearing account will get knocked off when you do the vendor posting. So this is what you will be having in the vendor. So vendor account gets credited, posting key you can see 31 and lease clearing account gets knocked. So lease clearing account gets nullified and you have vendor account credit with your lease liability debit. And finally you will be having the depreciation posting. So you can see here depreciation account debit and accumulated depreciation credit, posting is 75. So these are the basic transactions you will be having in RE-FX, and also you will be doing the payment to a vendor. That I have not taken into consideration in this video because it will be a normal vendor payment. So there is no differentiation from RE-FX perspective. One important point to understand here is you also have to configure a separate asset class for this lease accounting, and you have to do a separate depreciation key configuration. So I'll just quickly show you that part as well. These are some of the important transaction codes in SAP RE-FX relating to lease accounting. RECN, this is the main transaction where you create a contract and then you enter the relevant information. RECN SAP has created specifically for valuation of the contract under IFRS 16. So you can create a separate authorization for a content and give them this transaction. They don't need to go to this transaction. Then these are the other transaction, RECEP, where you do the valuation posting, and RERAAPP you do the periodic posting run, like you have to do the vendor transaction posting. RECEPR is here you do the contract valuation. So system will generate the contract valuation. These are some of the very important reports. So in this report REC, ISA, SSE, CTCN, you see leased assets for contracts. So what are the leased assets for number of contracts? Then this is your cash flow related report. So here you can see all the cash flow transaction over the lease period. And the last one is business partners of contract. So you can see a list of business partner for all your lease. So that's all I have in the PPT. Now I'll take you to SAP. So we start with RECN first. So I create a contract here and you choose lease in lease accounting. So and then in lease accounting RE-FX, this is ECC 6 and system I am using, but still you need to use business partner. So you cannot use normal vendor. So you have to create a business partner, and there is a specific business partner role which is TR0604. This is what you have to use. So if you want, I can just quickly show you. So this is the business partner you need to have, and you can assign all the information related to your business partner. Then you will be system will generate a corresponding vendor number, and this is the BP role, partner with vendor account. and you assign all the information, and you assign your company code, and you assign your GL account, everything. Let's go back. So I assigned the business partner for this contract, and then you enter a contract start date. So you can say I am taking November, so 01/11/2020, and since it's for 5 years, so I will say 31st October. Then you assign a property, and if you are using business area, as well. Click enter and then go down. This is the contract name. You can give any suitable name. So I am saying vehicle hire contract. This part is very important, valuation relevance. As per IFRS 16, lease assets under $5,000 is not relevant for valuation. However, you can have any different condition as well for your company. So you need to configure that, and then you select whether valuation relevant, this contract is relevant to your valuation or not. So I am selecting finance lease relevant. So this contract is relevant to my finance lease. You can see here system status, user status. So you can also configure it approval process. So if you want some other user to approve the contract, you can create those user status as well, like you have in many other scenario, like project systems or internal order or any other TRM, wherever I can tell you. So we have seen the partner tab already. Now in the term, it pulls the data from the general data tab where I entered the period. So you have contract start date and contract end date. You can give other dates cash flow starting from. By default, it takes the contract start date as the cash flow date. You can give a different date. Term in months, it calculates the difference between these two. In the memo, you can mention some history of this contract if you want. It gets saved. Now let's come to objects. This is one of the important part of contract. So you have to choose contract object. This is a configuration part. So you have to configure your system to have contract object available, and then you mention vehicle. This contract object gets associated with your asset class, asset number. So whatever you enter here, same name will get created as an asset. Object type needs to be configured, and then here you assign an account assignment. So you can select a cost center. This is again a configuration part, so you have to have the cost center available for the account assignment, and then select your cost center. So this cost center will be associated with your asset. These differing measurements are not applicable from IFRS perspective, so I will not talk on this. Posting parameters are standard. Tax type, it gets pulled up from the configuration. So if you have some specific tax related requirement, that can be configured. Now let's go to the condition. This is one of the most important and critical part. So currently I have these conditions configured. So you have a basic rent, service, initial cost. So you can choose any of these conditions which are applicable. So in my example, I said 5,000 rupees per month I want to pay. If there is some initial cost I have incurred, then I can select this one also. Right now I'll just choose credit side basic rent condition type. You can see here valid from date, valid to date, and you can enter the unit price. So I said 5,000. I have option here if there is an increase, say after 1 year 5% increase. So you can add, you can first limit it here. You can say that okay, this up to 31st October 2021 5,000. Then you add another condition and then give a 10% increase or whatever percentage increase you have. So that is possible here. However, in this video I'll restrict myself just to one condition. So for throughout the lease period I am paying 5,000 only. These are the different tabs. So calculation. So SAP allows you to do a different types of calculation. So in my case I am saying 5,000 is the fixed amount. However, you can have a different calculation parameter. Say you want to hire a godown and there is a rate applicable per square feet. So all those things you can do. See, there are so many different options you have. Measurement, fixed amount, object, parking space you have. So, and if something is not there, you can do the configuration also. This is the distribution. So if you have multiple condition or object, you can distribute it also, or the way you want. Currently I am saying divide equally. Finally we go to valuation parameters. So in this tab you do the IFRS 16 related setting. So if you click this plus sign, you see IFRS 16 and choose this vehicle one, this object assignment. You can see here now International Financial Reporting Standard IFRS 16, name of the valuation rule, and valuation rule is IFRS 16. So these are the different status you have, and all these status will change one by one. So as I said, I have a 7% interest, underlying interest. So enter 7. Now you see this one warning message comes. Asset is obligatory for balance sheet capitalization under IFRS 16. So it's asking me to enter some asset here. In RE-FX, SAP RE-FX solution, you can configure your system in such a way that asset number gets automatically pulled from the asset class. So I have done that part. So what you need to do is confirm this rule first, and then system will store the asset number. You can see here internal number some 0001 is coming. So once I save it, the asset number will get created. You can see this asset number now. Same condition what you had assigned in the conditions tab comes here as well. You can see lease, it says lease installment and full consideration. You have the option. If you say that okay, I don't want to apply full 100% to capitalize, suppose 20% is service charges, so you can make it 80% also if you want. So you have that flexibility here. You see all these options: asset number, object, vehicle, all these fields are available. This is the condition V100 which we have used. Unit price 5,000 per month. Now let's go to the valuation. This is the very interesting tab SAP has provided, and what it does, it generates the valuation. So you have to execute it. So you give by default, let it be this information, your user ID and all. See now what it's saying. You have a contract value of 300,000 because 5 years 5,000 per month, so 60,000 every year for 5 times, so 300,000. Then it applied 7% and it got the present value of 253,000. So this asset will be capitalized by 253,000. Now let's see depreciation. This amount will be depreciated over 5 years period. You see here. So all full amount will be depreciated. Then you have a clearing. This is the 5,000 per month clearing account. So you will be paying 60,000 like every month here. and finally you have the interest component. So it calculates interest based on that 7% rate which you have given. So you can see interest is going down. What happens uh, when you have the asset and liabilities created? So asset will goes down over a 5 years period in a linear depreciation, but liabilities will not reduce like that. Initially the interest component will be lower, so liability will be compared to asset, it will be higher side, and later on liability will go down faster. So now you have to save this valuation. Click on this save button. You see now valuation has been saved. And if you want to see again, you can click on this button and it will show you the same transactions what we saw just now. Now you can close it. So I just want to take you back to PPT where I had mentioned about some important transactions. So you saw I am in RECN. So RECN, as I said, it's just a contract valuation which is given by SAP mainly for the accountant. So let me take you to RECN first. In this transaction, you can see you have only these 4 tabs. Whereas in RECN, you have the master data related information as well. You can also do the post valuation from RECN, or you can go to RECEP. We have this post valuation transaction, so you can do it from here, or we can go to RECEP, this post valuation of contract. So let's go back to RECEP. Enter the contract number and then enter date, due date, and you can see here it's showing a simulation. So there are 2 options, simulation and update run. So first we will do the simulation. Okay, one thing I missed, it says contract is inactive, so I need to activate the contract first. So let's go back to RECN, the change mode. Click on this, you see here create, this status needs to be changed. So activate it, active. Now I should be able to do that. See, these are 3 entries SAP is going to post: asset posting, interest posting, and clearing posting. You can see here. So vehicle asset getting capitalized, then ROU asset clearing is happening, then ROU asset clearing getting debited, and lease liability is getting credited with the same amount, 253,431.99, same amount here. Then you are getting the lease liability. These are the flow type which get configured for different types of transactions. So 5,000 is getting debited to your lease liability, and lease clearing is 5,000 credit. This lease liability account will get knocked off through the vendor posting, and lease interest, you can see here, is getting debited, and lease liability is getting first credited. So lease liability gets increased by this interest component and gets reduced by payment amount. So we go back and remove the simulation and select update run. So now transaction has been posted. You see here now document number has come up. So let's go to the document. You see accounting document and RE document. Two document system has created. So you have ROU asset clearing and lease liability. So lease liability is credit, ROU asset debit. Then let's check the asset transaction. So here you see asset transaction, RE document, accounting document. So first let's see the accounting document. So this is my asset got debited 253,000, ROU asset clearing credited. Now let's check the lease clear liability 5,000 installment amount, lease installment transaction. So I am debiting my lease liability account by 5,000, which is the installment amount, and lease clearing is getting credited. And in this case, interest. Here you see it has generated multiple documents. I have funds management also active in this company code, so it's creating funds management document as well. This is not the I'm not having FM related thing to talk now, so I'll just show you accounting document. Lease interest and lease liability. Lease interest is debited and lease liability is credited. I forgot to show you the RE document. Let's check the RE document. So you can see here. See, this is the flow type I300. So for each different types of transaction, you need to configure the different flow types. So now the valuation has been updated in the contract. So let's go back to RECL. If now you come here, calculated values under the valuation tab, you can see a different status now. It says entry already posted. You can navigate from here also. So click on that. You can see two transactions it's showing, asset posting and transfer posting. So asset posting is right of use asset, it says flow type, and transfer is the present value. So this second one is relating to your liability and first is your asset. So same thing we will see here. See, accounting document, asset transaction, RE document, what we saw earlier. And in the second you will be having the lease liability. So you get the lease liability transaction as well. Similarly, if depreciation we will not be able to see here because I have not yet posted depreciation. Let's see the clearing. So here also you see this checkbox. So when it says green checkbox, entry already posted. So same way you can click on this and it will take you to the accounting document screen. Likewise. And in the interest also you will see entry already posted. Likewise. We have a cash flow related information. I will show you. Where do I have the cash flow? Cash flow, okay. In the valuation only we have. You can see this is the cash flow which is going out. So 5,000 every month you are going to pay until 5 years. So 300,000 you will be paying over 5 years. One important part I want to share with you is the overviews tab. This is mostly missed out by many people. Here it contains lots of very important reports. So if you see, I'll just show you partner related cash flow. So it shows you this is the vendor line. This will also come as posted once I do the transaction posting, and it shows you every month you are going to pay 5,000 to this vendor. Okay, one question will be on the due date. So I have taken as a beginning of the month. You can configure it as in your contract whether the payment or due date is on at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month. This is configurable. If I click all, it will show me all the cash flow which is going to be paid, credited to the vendor account. You see the vendor here, business partner. Then some other important one is valuation cash flow. So this is the master report. So here it shows you everything. So IFRS 16, contract value, present value, asset related, what is the opening balance, depreciation, closing balance, all these things. And then this is your liability side. So opening balance, clearing interest. So this is your closing balance. Likewise, so you can see the difference. In the asset side you are having 249,268 at the end of first period, whereas in the liability you are having 249,881 because depreciation is amortized linearly, and here you are having amortization based on your interest and installment. So then you have lots of information you get here. Another is valuation postings. So all the transactions which have been posted so far will come here. So now let me take you to the second transaction, which is the RERAPP, periodic posting contracts. So in this transaction you will be making posting to the vendor account. RAPP contract. Here also you have the option of simulation. So now you can see vendor account is coming. You can see the document. So lease clearing account getting debited and my vendor account getting credited. This is my vendor number. So I go back and remove the simulation option. Update, run, and now if I go to the documents, now I have this document number generated. You can see here lease clearing account debit and vendor account credit, posting key 31. And if I go back to RECN and use the vendor, refresh, see now this entry already posted check is coming for the first line, and from here on again you can drill down. So you can go to the same transaction what we are having there. The last entry is the depreciation posting. Before that we can see the asset AW01 in Asset Explorer. So you can see here this is the ordinary depreciation, and we will be having these depreciations to be posted. So I have already done the depreciation for period 8. So in the period 9 it is showing me period 8 and period 9 depreciation amount. We can do the repeat run. So and then here you can see the depreciation which gets completely amortized in 5 years. So all are automated. You don't need to do anything manual basically. That's what I am trying to show you through this solution. Here 8. Select this. So this will post. So now let me remove the test run. background. Done. So now depreciation is also posted. So now let's go back to the valuation. If I click here, I have the asset posting. Depreciation does not give me the option to, but from here we can go. We can go to the asset explorer from that place also, and then from here we can go to the posted value and see the depreciation posting transaction, which you will be doing now in your normal course of business. So you see here depreciation on ROU asset debit and ROU account accumulated depreciation credit. What SAP has recommended you is you have to create a new depreciation key, and very important is to use the base value 29. Configure a new base value as 29. External base value from real estate leasing. So this is very important for you to do. So now I just want to take you to the reports which I have mentioned there. Let's see this report. This is for leased assets for contracts. You see, it shows you this is my contract. If you have hundreds of contracts, so you can remove, keep the field blank, and it will show you all your assets. In one report, you can get all the information. Then cash flow related. See, all the cash flow related transactions are getting displayed here, and here also you can see entry already posted. So from here also you can drill down to that posted transaction. Last transaction is business partner of contracts. So in this transaction you can see your details about your business partners, so name, address and all those information, and I think from here also you can drill down this partner transaction. One very important point I forgot to add here is one related to one OSS note. You must read this OSS note 225 times 5. This is the main note which contain all the related information about IFRS 16 lease accounting under RE-FX for IFRS 16. So with this I close my video, and I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.